Right. So, on this episode, I am going to talk about my favorite Prince live concert experience. Let's go. All right. Welcome back. Of course, my name is Michael Dean and all the usual stuff, like and subscribe and all that. A few weeks ago on What Did Prince Do This Week podcast, I talked about the first time I saw Prince live, which was the Purple Rain tour when it came to Tacoma, Washington. But I've seen Prince a few times, you know what I'm saying? But my favorite, I believe it is my favorite, at least I'm going to say that today. My favorite Prince concert experience actually was from the One Night Alone tour, aka the Rainbow Children. And this was back in 2022, April 29th to be exact. The Paramount Theater. Hopefully, I can show a picture of a ticket stub from that, courtesy of Prince Vault. But just wanted to talk a little bit about that, why it was special to me, and a little bit of what I can remember. It was quite a while ago. The funny thing I will say is the Paramount Theater. I've seen a lot of great shows there. It's located right in downtown Seattle. Actually, it's so ironic at this point. I do business with the Paramount at times in my day job, so I'm over there a lot, and that has allowed me to see some even newer shows recently. Well, we saw the Michael Jackson stage play. I can't think of what the actual title was. It was the MJ thing. It was on Broadway and it's touring around. But got to see that. Took my younger daughter. Oh, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But 2002, Prince. This was when the Rainbow Children album was out. This is also the time when Prince had the NPG Music Club. And if you know anything about that, that was just such a great experience because one, you got new music from Prince on the regular exclusive. Like they had a radio show, which we'll do a video about that at some point. They have these cool radio shows that Prince would do. But one of the perks of joining the NPG Music Club is when they went on tour, you got access to purchase tickets to Soundcheck's pre-show. And if you can wrap your mind around Prince offering something like that, and just like, man, I it's one of those things where I saw Prince Purple Rain show. Was not able to see the parade hit and run. Was not able to see the Sign of the Times tour because that didn't come to America either. But I saw Love Sexy. And so it was very interesting, having all those years of not seeing Prince live other than TV and video, and then going to a concert many years later. And at this point, I'm a different Prince fan, when Love Sexy came out. So I was like so into it. And I knew the lore and just everything, I listened to the records. So that was a crazy experience to see Love Sexy. This is not about that, but I'm just giving you some context. And then I think after that, and Love Sexy was what, 1988? There was such a long gap until the next Prince concert. And essentially, I can't even wrap my head around what was the next Prince concert I went. I have to think about this. Maybe if I can figure it out, I'll put it on the screen. Love Sex was, now I'm tripping. Was One Night Alone, was that before? Oh, you know what? There was the Emancipation stuff. So whatever that tour that he did with Emancipation when it was with like Larry Graham and Shaka Khan, that came to my area. It was Yeah, I remember it was Prince, Shaka Khan. I can't remember if Larry was there, but it was a concert at the Gorge. And again, I'll backtrack and look that up, and maybe I'll throw something in here. Um, but even that concert experience was the first time I had seen Prince, and I wasn't super laser focused on the actual show itself. Um, I don't know, it was just something about that show that it just wasn't. I don't know. It felt like something was missing or something. Maybe I was tripping, but it just didn't capture me. I wasn't like laser focused on what Prince was doing in the show. I was like walking around a little bit and we were talking and stuff. So anyway, 2002, Paramount Theater, and I get tickets to the concert, but also, the NPG Music Club, got the tickets to the Soundcheck. And I remember, I want to say, they were saying something like, be there at 12 or 1 o'clock or something like that. I can't remember the exact time, but I remember um, another one of my friends, shout out to Matthew. Um, he was out there earlier. So he was like one of the first people in line. And it was myself and my other homeboy, Tobias. And shout out to Tobias. Me and him started this podcast damn near 20 years ago. We were coming a little bit late. I feel like we had to work that day or something. I don't know what it was, but we came a little later, and Matt had saved our place, so he was in front. So we got to slide in. You know what I'm saying? There was a few other fans there. It's like, well, what's up? What whoop de whoop? And I just remember the door opening to the venue. And you walk into the lobby, and the Paramount is a very beautiful. It's an older type of theater building, but like just excellent. Old school charm. Like it looks really good. It's a whole thing. The funny thing about the Paramount, the deviate real quick, the video game, The Last of Us 2, it's featured in the game. Like there's a whole point where they go into the Paramount and you play the game a little bit in there. It's pretty funny. So anyway, it's a beautiful place. So I remember we walk in, and then you go through the lobby, then you go through the doors that actually take you into the actual theater. And I just remember we walking in, and there was really nobody in there. I'm so used to when you walk in the theater, and the seats going down to the stage and all that, but there was really nobody in there. So we just kind of like, and we're trying to keep it, somewhat acting our age instead of being teenagers and just running. And, we could sort of try to calmly walk in, but, the excitement of it, I kind of like the pace of the walking was a little aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we're walking down. And as we're walking down, I feel like somebody was like, you can just sit wherever you want. So, of course, then we're going to sit right in the front. And so I remember just walking down the aisle, and this is the first part that let me know, like, yo, this is going to be a different day for you, is when we're walking down, you see Prince's guitars, lined up they're just like sitting down on the ground, sitting up. And I'm like, yo, that's his shit right there. Like, I'm like, yo, he's really up in here. I was tripping. I'm like, and that's the whole part of like, you're in your hometown and Prince is there, so it was already like excitement. But the fact that, yo, his stuff is right there, it don't get no realer than this. So, yeah, that was kind of a trip. So we walk in, then we're like, fuck it. We sit down, and there's, more fans there now. I can't remember the exact number, and I never knew the exact number. Somebody who was there could maybe tell me better, but I feel like there was maybe 30 to 50 people, possibly, of fans there. And we're all just sort of sitting in, I don't know, maybe the first 1 to 4 rows. I can't remember exactly. I just remember we were sitting right at the front, and like, if this is the stage, we were sitting on like the sort of the left, toward the left end of the front row. And I remember it was my man, Matt, Tobias, and myself. And then, of course, there's all these other people. So we're just sitting there and we don't know what to expect. We're just kind of waiting around. And, the stage is up here. And, we're just shooting the shit, talking. And just kind of off the side, I see somebody coming. And there's like these little stairs that go up to the stage. So I see somebody's walking. And I just kind of gradually just started to turn. And I look and I'm like, oh shit, that's Prince. Like he's just calmly walking and he's just walking up the stairs. They walk on the stairs. And I'm like, what? And everyone sort of recognizes who it is. And you can hear like there's just a different kind of hush, a little bit excitement. It was we realized, yo, Prince is just walking up. And when he walks up, I look at him. I've never seen him up close before. And it wasn't a big hoorah, but he just kind of just walked. So I'm looking, I'm like, yo, this dude. And you kind of excited. But when I looked at him, he kind of had a look on his face. If I can describe it, he could tell like we started to realize it was him and people were kind of, "Ah," and he kind of made I can't remember if he said this or if I'm remembering it this way. Again, this was a long time ago, but he just had what I got from it was he was kind of like, I know you dudes ain't uh, about to cheer for me or something like that. That's the kind of vibe. And I was like, oh, he is clowning. I was like, and in my mind, I was like, yeah, keep it player. Like he's just a man walking up. So I thought that was funny as a fan, as a male fan, as a black man. It definitely made me like, I was like, you know what it is? I didn't know what to make. I knew of the person or the persona that I've seen in these videos and, who I've read about or, listening to the music, who I think he may be, right? But to actually see him walk up there, and again, it was a vibe. It was sort of an expression that he made with his face and the way he kind of looked, like, I know you see me, but but be cool. I was like, okay. I was like, I fuck with him. I like that. So anyway, he gets up there, right? And we're all just tripping because, it's Prince and we coming to see a concert and here he comes walking up on stage. So a couple of things that I remember and things that struck me was when I saw him and he's standing there and stuff, the thing that I always remember about that experience was the way he looked, his face. He didn't have a lot of the makeup on, and you could see that. Here's the thing about it. When I looked at him, I was like, yo, this is a real dude. Like, and I could see the years on him. So he didn't look necessarily old to me, but he looked tired. I could see like the bags. These are normal things, but again, I've only seen like a certain image of him, presented to us as his fans. But here he was still dressed cool. I don't remember what he had on, but it was a Prince type of thing. But he seemed like a normal. I don't know if that's right. He seems like a normal dude, but I was like, wow, he's tired. Like I can see the years on him, on his face. And it took me aback only in the sense where I was like, you know what? I get it. Like, this is why he's great. To see all of this in person and it's just not a show he's doing, it's a sound check, but it's also like, um, what's I want to say? He's also like not fully done up, right? And I've never seen a not fully everything Prince, right? And so to see a more of his sort of, I guess, raw facial, um, It did. I That's something I always remember from that. I just realized I was like, man, dude is working. Um, all the years in between the albums that I listened to, yeah, I can see he's been living his life, obviously during that period. Like, and just seeing him, I was able to understand like the time between the projects that we don't see, right? Like I realized, like, man, there's a lot of work going on, um, and I had to realize what was the thing I took away from it was like you can see these people or anybody on TV or on video like this, but they're giving you their best appearance. You don't get to see when they're thinking or, they're just contemplating something, or you don't get to see them sort of weathered a little bit from just a normal human existence. And that's the one thing that really struck me. I was like, man, okay. And it wasn't a sad thing. It was just a thing of, yeah, he real like he is like us. Like we are like him. Like like but he's just great at what he does, and he's in full control of what he's got going on. So I say all that to say, he gets up on stage, and he's just kind of like, what do you guys want to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And that was so like I'd never seen him like that before. So it was so like your first impulse is to go, yeah, yeah, I love you. But he sort of really brought an energy. It was just like, I'm here, relax. You know what I'm saying? We got to get some stuff together for the show. We'll play a few songs. But before I thought maybe he was just going to play and not interact. But he was like, no, what y'all want to talk about? And what I remember, part of the conversation was about there is this museum here locally in Seattle. At the time, it was called EMP, but I think now it's called Mopop. And I believe the original intention of it was the Experience Music Project, and it was really like a love letter to Jimi Hendrix, who is also from Seattle. And this gentleman has passed away now. It was billionaire Paul Allen. He was one of the original founders of Microsoft with Bill Gates. Well, one of the things he was really into the arts, so he's got an unlimited budget. So he had this building made, and you have to really see it. I put a picture here. You have to see this building to like it looks crazy, but it looks like something a super rich person could make. Where I don't need to make no money at this. But it had recently opened during this time of this concert, and so Prince was up there, and he was like, "What do you guys know about this EMP thing? They want me to come and do maybe an after show after this." And he was like, he was just asking us what it was. Now, people in Seattle, particularly music heads, we all know what that is. I had actually been to the museum before this, and I want to say the museum, when it first opened, not only was it, a tribute to Hendrix, and it has all this stuff, but there was also an exhibit in there. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like an interactive ride through the mothership, and I'm talking about George Clinton mothership. And I remember, I feel like when you went into it, you sat down, and it was kind of moving. I can't totally remember, but it was this whole sort of documentary art exhibit, and it was a video. It was interactive and all this, but it had like Bootsy Clinton, George Clinton, Maceo was in it, and I'm saying his name on purpose. But yeah, it was this whole thing, right? So Prince is asking us, what do we know about? He's like saying, they want me to play, but where's the money going? Like, who owns that? And I was like, what? And this is after the slave thing and all that. So I was like, yo, he's really about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he want to know where the money going. And so the fans are trying to tell him, oh, this is like a Paul Allen thing and whoop-de-whoop. And I remember one of the fans, and also, so this is also the time when Maceo was in Prince's band, legendary, iconic Maceo, from James Brown. And I remember one of the fans said, "You should ask Maceo. He's in it. Like, he should know." And I remember Maceo, he kind of did like a, and so anyway, it just kept going. The conversation was sort of revolving around, you know, who owns it, where the money goes. And if I'm remembering correctly, and again, y'all, if there was somebody else who was there, y'all can tell me I was wrong. But I remember, I feel like I remember Prince. He told a story during this, and he was telling a story about uh, Eric Clapton and ABC TV or something. And I swear he was saying something like they wanted me to do like a New Year's Eve thing or some kind of TV special, and it was going to be him and Eric Clapton. And I think he said something to the point where, I didn't do it because I couldn't own it. They wouldn't let me own the rights to it, and I'm not doing nothing if I'm not getting paid and have control of it. And I was like, man, salute. So when he kept asking about, so he was like, that's why I want to know what's up with this thing, because they want me to come down there after this. And he's like, ain't gonna be no show. He was kind of in that bag of Prince. I was like, wow. I'm blown away. Like, I came to see a concert, and here we are chopping it up, all of us fans. And he's just standing there, being a regular, entertaining, energetic guy, So it's just like, wow. So, there's all of the conversation piece. And then eventually, the band comes up there and they start playing songs. I remember one song, which I will talk about, but all the stuff that was going on, I'm so like, my brain is like, I can't hardly believe, one, that I'm here. Two, that Prince is just literally standing right there and Maceo standing right there. It's a fully lit environment, so there's like no mystery hiding behind. Like, he's just literally right there and he's playing music. And, it's just like, I felt like I was seeing another side of it, like the rehearsal side, but seeing it in person. It's a headbuster upon headbusters. Salute to Prince Vault, because they actually have the playlist, track list of what's going on. They even have the sound check. So I'm gonna tell you the songs he played. I'm gonna stop when we get to the last song. So he did Peach, Rainbow Children, and this is all sound check. Money Don't Matter Tonight. Here's another one, and I feel like he was kind of asking people what we wanted him to play, if I'm remembering correctly, because this next song he does is Do You Lie. And that ain't a song that somebody just be doing. Like, that's one of them deep album cuts. So I was just like, yo, like, but the next song he does, and I don't remember how that started, but at some point the conversation or something, it turns to Michael Jackson. And I remember him saying something like, Billie Jean is a funky song. I don't know if maybe one of the other band members started playing it or something. Boom, boom. But he was like, yeah, that's a funky song if it's done right, or with a real band or something. He said something to that effect. And then he's just like, 1, 2, 3, ta, boom, 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 boom. And the whole band, nigga, goes into Billie Jean. Was like, what? Yeah, I died and was resurrected. That was crazy. That was mad crazy. Like, Prince doing Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, and they killed that shit. Killed it. Nigga got Maceo up there, Blackwell on drums, Rhonda's on the bass, and I believe Renato. Yeah, that was bananas. And that was the last song that they did, because it was like, all right. He said something like, I gotta go. We gotta get ready for the show. But man, y'all hang tight, chill, whatever. And it was like, I could have been done right there. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you serious? It was one of the most intimate experiences, real, and it was in my hometown. And I've been wanting to see this brother for years. Just man, it was everything. It was everything. Just that little set was every it was this whole thing was maybe it was a couple hours. I felt like it was a couple hours. Could have been shorter. I don't know, but the conversation part, and then there was the music part, and then just the afterglow of that. And I remember it was a lady came out. I don't know if it was one of his assistants or something. And I want to say she came out and gave us, um, what do you call those little things that I can't think. They gave us like some kind of pass or something. And I remember it was saying like, you can stay in these seats for the show. And I'm like, what? Because I'm like, we're sitting in the front. It's like, yeah, don't move. Just stay in those seats. Those are your seats for the night. And so they ain't got to tell me twice. The show don't start till 8. Again, I felt like we came earlier in the day, so we just stayed there the whole time. I can't even remember the time in between that. We were like just so happy, talking amongst each other. We're in this Paramount. We're here to see Prince. It was just so much like, God, this is great. The other thing is, I guess this must have been told to us after the show. Maybe this is why they gave us those little laminates or whatever the little badges were. They were like, yo, there's going to be a little after party tonight at the EMP, which is what Prince had just been talking about, right? So, yeah, y'all can come. What? So I'm on cloud 9, man. I'm on my purple pack heavy. So that was awesome. Like, and then eventually, they open the doors and people start coming in. And man, it was a trip to be already in the venue at the front, and then normal people are starting to come in, ticket go, people are coming to the concerts, and someone was like, "Yo, how the hell they get down?" And and this is my city, so I'm seeing people that I've seen from around the way and things like that. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to move though, cause be my luck, get up and go to the bathroom, and like, mm-mm. So anyway, the concert starts. And let me give you the track listing of the concert. And keep in mind, this is the One Night Alone tour. This is when Prince is on his, I'm not playing all those songs you think I'm supposed to play. Like, we're not doing Purple Rain and all that, which is a bold move. I'm not doing my signature songs. I'm doing the new stuff. So this tour starts, concert I went to, Rainbow Children, Muse to the Pharaoh, Xenophobia, Extraordinary, Mellow, 1+1+1 is 3. And then he jumps into Love Roller Coaster, which is a Ohio Players cover. The Other Side of the Pillow, Strange Relationships, Pass the Peas, which is a JB's cover, which he got Maceo is in the band. So you got the real JB in the anyway. Sang a Simple Song on his Sly Stone bag. La 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 means I love you. Yeah. And then he does Didn't You Know? Erykah Badu joint, which was a new song. And then, okay, so now he goes, When You Were Mine, Avalanche. So he's dialing back a little. When You Were Mine is obviously an old school song, but then Avalanche, Family Name. I'm going to stop right here. So he does Family Name. And I remember this part because there's a part when he performs this song, he asks people in the audience, like, well, what's your name? And then he's going to give you a new name. And lo and behold, this brother came and asked me. I'm sitting down there with my dumb ass. And he's like, what's your family name? And he's like, I see him walking toward me, but I'm not really like, not dawning on me. And he's just like, eh. And I'm like, the lights on me, and it's like the whole shit just stopped. I, I'm like so nervous. I don't know what's going on. I think I just said, Dean. And I don't even remember. He was like, well, no, not tonight. Your name is, I don't even know what he said. I was just like so nervous and like, what? Like I was blown away. But I do remember that. So family name. Then he does Take Me With You, Raspberry Beret, The Everlasting Now. And I'm looking at a list here. The next thing is a piano set. So he does One Night Alone. And here's the interesting thing. On the One Night Alone box set that was released, which is a live version compilation, if you will, of this tour, this show that I went to, some of these songs end up on that recording. So on that recording, the One Night Alone is the one from the Paramount. Then he does Adore. He does I Want to Be Your Lover, and these are on the piano. Diamonds and Pearls. Nothing Compares to You. Free. And the version of Free that he did is also on that box set. Starfish and Coffee, another one on the box set. Sometimes It Snows in April is also on the box set. And then he does How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore, and then Anastasia. And Anastasia is the encore as well. Anastasia, come to. So it was almost as like it was just tailor made for my black ass, because you're ending it with Anastasia from Love Sexy. And for me, that was one of my favorite parts in the Love Sexy concert, when they end the second half, or the first half of the show ends with Anastasia. So it was like my chance to hear it all over again live. And so it was just awesome. Yeah, I mean, that show was incredible. What happened after that? True to his word, all of the fans, we made our way to the Seattle Center where the EMP Museum was, and we had our passes. They let us in. True to Prince's word, he didn't play no concert, but he was in there. So what ended up happening is they had a whole banquet of food. It was a party. It was like an after party. They had all this food laid out. It was a DJ. And they were like, hey, man, you guys can come in and enjoy the food and just kick it. And sure enough, I could see Prince in there, and they were giving him a tour of the museum. And that was the last I had saw him at that. And I can't remember. We hung out for a little bit and then eventually left. And keep in mind, it's probably like midnight to 1 a.m. or something crazy like that. But I will tell you, that was the most incredible concert experience that I had, seeing it, in person. And the main thing of it was that soundcheck part, man, that was everything. Like, to see sort of behind the scenes a little bit, I guess, that was incredible. Man, it motivated me so much, because I walked away from that. I was like, man, this is just a dude who has worked his ass off. He's mastered what he does. And then he's got a team of people around. He got the best people around him. And like, he's literally like, going city to city or whatever, and he's doing his shit. And like, the importance of him having Maceo and the other band, it was just so much. I was like, God, this is what Prince is. In my mind, I was still, I'm still on what I know from the records and the videos I've seen and some of the books. But to really see it in person, I was like, yo, that's a brother. Like, okay, man. Yeah, he was player about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a man. Don't be, you don't need to, relax. And I respected that. I was like, okay. Um, trying to think what else to say, but yeah, I mean, it was a fascinating experience. Me and my friends, I know we remember that forever. And we've seen, and again, me and Tobias, we've seen the next Prince concert that we saw together many years later would be Paisley Park, the One Night Alone gala event. And I'll talk about that in another video. But until that experience, because that was kind of a headbuster too, this was the crowning achievement from a fan standpoint. Like I could have never had seen him again, and I would have been like, yeah, I experienced some real print. Not only did I see the concert and all of that, but I got to see the other side. I got to see the man sort of stripped of just the cake makeup and see like, yo, this brother's working. Like he's not young. He's up there, but he looks good. But he definitely, you can tell, yeah, the sacrifice. I guess that's what you can see the sacrifice in a good way. But I was like, man, it was a way that I wish we could really have seen him, where he is an elder statesman in the game, but he's on point. But just like you make no mistake, he know what he doing because you could see the years of experience on his face. That was the thing, It's like, God, okay, yeah. When he speak, let me shut up and listen. From because it'd be interesting to see things from his perspective. And when he was talking about the EMP and like where's the money going, I'm not playing unless the bag's coming my way. I was just I'm writing down notes and taking lessons from a master teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, be about your money, be about your business. So when you to hear him sort of go in on that and kept talking about it, let me know, like, yeah, he's about his business. So now when you think about where his stuff is at now, it makes you wonder, like, man, this cat was thorough. He had the wheel in it, but that's another story. So there you go. April 29th, 2002, Paramount Theater, Prince One Night Alone tour. I will never forget it. It was excellent. I'd love to hear some of your favorite tour experiences. You can put them in the comments. And again, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. You already know what it is. Work it like a job. I'll see you next time. Peace.